a great weekend? The New York Times published a story about what they called contacts between members of the Trump campaign and Russian officials. The FBI deputy director was at a meeting here at the White House that morning. After the meeting concluded, he asked the chief of staff to stand back a second. He wanted to tell him that the report in the New York Times was, quote, BS. For viewers at home, I think you can pretty much figure what that means, but I'll leave it at that. At that time, the chief of staff said, "Thank you for sharing that with me. Can we let other people know that the story is not accurate?" Throughout the day, they went back and forth to see what they thought was appropriate. Finally came to the conclusion that they did not want to get in the process of knocking down every story that they had issues with. Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Mick Mulvaney, to talk to you.
You don't think there's something strange about, or there's something odd about the White House press secretary getting the CIA director on the phone to knock down a story about an investigation?
No, but see, respectfully, you're using words like knock down. There was a story in a newspaper. Hold on. No. There was reporters coming to us saying there is a story out there. What's your take on it? And our answer was, we don't believe it's accurate. We don't believe it's false. But obviously, that's our take on it. And reporters were saying to us, well, is there anybody that you can point to substantiate this claim? Now, remember, this all started with the FBI coming to us, bringing it to our attention, saying that the story in the Times was not accurate. In fact, it was BS. And all we did was simply say, that's great. Could you tell other reporters the same thing you're telling us? A bit about the president's budget when Director Mulvaney is finished.
Well, can you now categorically deny there were no contacts between the Russians and
I
anybody
can't
on the
deny.
campaign?
I can't. I guess my question is, I'm not right.
That's what the investigation would look at.
Right, and I guess my point is that you've had the intelligence community look at Russia's involvement in the election. You've had the House and the Senate both do the same. And so what I'm trying to ascertain is, at what point, how many people have to say that there's nothing there before you realize there's nothing there? I can't say unequivocally. All I'm saying is the people who've done the investigating about Russia overall and its activities in the United States, specifically now with respect to our election, haven't provided anything that lead me to believe or should leave you to believe. And I continue to see reports coming from different media sources that are saying, when they checked in with law enforcement or intelligence community sources, there's nothing more than has been previously reported over and over again. For him to take a few questions and then resume the briefing and all the...
Did you, just to follow up on that,
Yeah.
Did you personally reach out to Pompeo?
I'm not going to discuss what we did internally. I'm just going to say that when we shared, we did our job about making sure that when reporters had questions, we let them know what subject matter experts were available to discuss the accuracy of a newspaper story. Good afternoon. Before I begin, as you might already know, the Department of Defense presented its preliminary plan to the White House today to defeat ISIS. This plan has been delivered by Secretary Mattis, and who is currently briefing the principals on the option presented today and seeking their input and feedback. Finally, I wanted to note the President continues to be deeply disappointed and concerned by the reports of further vandalism at Jewish cemeteries. The cowardly destruction in Philadelphia this weekend comes on top of similar accounts from Missouri and threats made to Jewish community centers around the country. The President continues to condemn these and any other form of anti-Semitic and hateful acts in the strongest terms. And declining enrollment figures. Millions are choosing to pay a tax